Ronald Reagan once said, "We should measure welfare success by how many people leave welfare, not by how many are added." Welfare is defined by Merriam-Webster Dictionary as aid in the form of money or necessities for those in need, or an agency through which such aid is provided and distributed. Welfare has become an increasingly popular topic over the last few years as more and more people are kind of becoming aware of it, and more money is being spent on welfare, and our country has more and more deficits, so money is kind of becoming a bigger issue. A big question that has come up recently is whether welfare recipients should have to take a drug test before they receive any money or support from the government. In my opinion, those who receive welfare benefits should be required to pass drug tests before receiving any government aid. To begin, a little bit of history about welfare. It began before colonial times. It's not something new. It's been around for a while. The British actually brought it to America in the form of British Poor Laws. Now, what those laws did was they gave aid in the form of money to those who were unable to work, and they gave work to people who were able to work but unemployed at that point in time. So that was anything from temporary jobs to more permanent positions in pretty much any field, mostly governmental, like roads, construction, that kind of thing would be what it would equate to today. But at the time, that was their form of welfare. So only the people who were unable to work were the ones that were actually receiving any money. The rest were just being helped with finding jobs. That continued until about the Great Depression. And in the Great Depression, there was a ton of people who were losing their jobs. Our stock market crashed, and companies were going under, and it was a bad situation all around. But in response to it, President Roosevelt set up the Social Security Act in 1935. Now, this act it created programs to help specific groups of Americans find jobs and to support them while they didn't have jobs. And it also created departments like the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Labor that were kind of in charge of the aid that the government was giving out. So that continued for about 60 years. In 1996, President Clinton introduced the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act. And what this did was it gave money from the government to each state, and then the state could choose from there what they wanted to do with the money and how they wanted to grant it to individuals. And that is what we have for our welfare today. It's the same system. So it hasn't changed a ton, but obviously it has changed over the years, and now it's beginning to possibly change again. So the major arguments against drug testing for those on welfare are that it could be an invasion of privacy and that it's not saving money. While it truly isn't saving money, several states have found that it actually costs more to try and drug test every individual on welfare. It's changing a lifestyle. Those who are receiving government aid were supposed to, welfare is supposed to help people get back on their feet, and so making welfare more like a work situation allows more people to actually use it for its intended purpose, just to get back on their feet. According to statisticbrain.com, 12,800,000 people are on welfare. That only adds up to 4.1% of the population. So population-wise, it doesn't seem like very much, but 12 million people is a lot of people. It adds up to $131.9 billion annually. So it's definitely an expensive program, and I think we need to put more thought into it. 39 states pay more to their welfare recipients than an $8 per hour job would pay. 6 states pay more than a $12 per hour job, and 8 states pay more than they pay their teachers. So it's a lot like having a job without actually having to have a job. Drugfree.org stated that 84% of employers require drug tests before giving an employee a position, and 39% of employers require random drug tests. If employers can require drug tests, then why couldn't and why shouldn't the government? Employers are requiring drug tests, and honestly, when the government is paying people as much as $12 an hour to be on welfare, drug tests isn't asking that much. Welfare should be made more like a job in order to help people get back on their feet instead of helping them rely on the system. Thank you.